Doesn't really work that far. Yeah, maybe. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Empire 161 Show. We're at episode 14 of season 3. This is Ambition for Cash by Key Glock. And this is IKF's walk-up music, if you perhaps have heard it at the stadium. So we got plenty of songs. Still got so many more to go. So, thanks for joining us this Monday evening. And with me, as always, Lisa Garcia. Lisa, what's up?
Hey, everybody. Has everybody cooled down from the hottest weekend we've ever had in our lives? Oh, my God.
That was brutal.
Yes, it was very brutal. So as you learned from your wife, everybody, we play on the same team. In case you didn't know that, Ed is the manager of our team, and he's the commissioner of our league. We had 4 games on Saturday to end our season, and I played in 2.5 of them. And some people played all 4, I have to say. And I thought I could hang and play all 4, and I had to be like, no, Ed, I can't.
Told you.
I know. I had 10 cups of water, a Gatorade, Gator Light, whatever it was called, thanks to Joey B. I ate a sandwich thanks to your wife. I got home. I took a nice cold shower, not a hot one. I tried to eat dinner, and I realized, I'm not doing well. I had a bad headache, like a migraine headache. I felt nauseous, and I could not eat my food. I was hungry as hell. I wanted to eat, and when I started to eat, I was like, I don't want this anymore. I just want to lay down. And I ended up sleeping on and off probably like 9 hours. Your wife is lovely. She checked in on me a couple of times. But yeah, I was so drained. And then when I looked up the symptoms of heat exhaustion, I had them.
Checked all the boxes?
I checked like 8 out of 9 boxes. I was like, okay, this is what it feels like to have heat exhaustion. I had a great day, though. We had fun. I mean, we had a good time.
We did.
I was exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it was a lot for all of us. I mean, if you find yourself doing stuff in heat and stuff like that, I would highly suggest getting some of those liquid IV things that they sell at like CVS and Dwayne Reed and stuff like that. Like I downed 2 of those before we even started, and then just kept on crushing Gatorades and waters the entire day, and just had to keep going. Dumped freezing cold water on myself as much as humanly possible, and just that's it. And I came home and we jumped in the pool. Our pool for quotes. I mean,
a pool.
There's no swimming. There's no swimming going on in the pool, but Oh, Billy.
It's a lounge pool.
Billy, what's up, Billy? Thanks for joining us.
All the way from the west side.
Yeah. Nice. Thanks, Billy. So it's no joke. So Billy knows what we're talking about with the New York humidity too. It's just when it gets hot here, it gets through the roof. So wow, that was something. It took a while. It took a while to cool down for it, but a little slightly cooler here today. Slightly, still above 90 though. But all right. Well, I'm sure enough with they want to hear about the weather reports over here in New York City. Some of them probably have experienced through it. But thanks for joining us on the Facebook stream. If you're joining us on YouTube, if you're joining us on our Twitter handle, or if you're joining us on Instagram or wherever you found your podcast, always appreciate the support. And let's we want to go ahead and kick off with it while it's going to be going through. Is The Captain, episode 2, which premiered on Thursday. And I wasn't really sure the release schedule, but apparently it's 2 episodes a week every Thursday. They're not dragging this out like The Last Dance, where it was like 1 episode a week. I mean, 3 and 4 dropped this Thursday. So 1 and 2 were last week, but we spoke about 1 on our last episode. Lisa, so let's just jump into it. What were some of the highlights of the second episode that as it continued on and picked up from 96, straight through 98?
I probably wrote down too many notes for this one.
It's all right.
I wrote down more than on the first episode. It just, it keeps getting better. I mean, I don't think I actually knew this, and if I did, I forgot, but I did not remember that Tony Fernandez broke his arm, and that's why Derek Jeter got the chance to start the season in '96.
Yeah.
So I totally forgot about that. But I think a lot of what was said in this episode was really, to me, it was really interesting because he got his first major league home run. And one of the things that Susan Waldman said in this episode was, the moment is never too big for you if you prepare for it. And I feel like that was his mentality for every game, every year. Like he always said, this game is the most important game, whether it was a spring training game or the World Series. And he also said in it, if you play every game like it's the most important game, your mindset never changes. You just have to win that one game. I'm gonna challenge our team to remember that this weekend.
No, I mean it's the truth. It's just if you treat they're all the same. I mean, they all require the same amount of outs, balls, strikes. If you put it to that, obviously with a slightly higher even level of importance right there, but you don't let the moment get too big for you, then it makes sense. Derek's approach there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was something. Yeah, the Tony Fernandez breaking his arm in spring training in '96 was a big thing. Tony Fernandez, one of Jerry's all-time favorites. No, he absolutely hated him, but that opened up the doors for Derek. And like he had said too, like he wasn't having a great spring training. It was just kind of like, all right, I guess this is the guy. Let's go. And against Cleveland, opening day, just set the tone pretty early on with that opening day home run, and kept it moving there. We got to see some of the insight. I'm sure we're going to see more, especially around the mid 2000s when they get to that. But we got to see some of the insight of the relationship of Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez, which I mean that's probably like the juiciest thing that people are looking for in this whole documentary. They are. I mean, but because there's a lot there that he never acknowledged throughout it. So that's what I think it is. It's just, again, like we had said last week, it's about hearing him actually acknowledge it and even talk about it.
Yeah.
And and A-Rod agreed to do the thing. Obviously, he was telling his part of it too. And yeah, they were really good friends apparently, early on. And things go, which they didn't even get to the part where things really go sideways, because that's when I think that will start, getting through. Yeah, because that happened after, right before A-Rod got his contract in 2001. So in 2002, sorry. So that's kind of when we're going to get to that. So that's the juiciest stuff is still there, but at least the beginning and setting the table for it was underway. But I still love the way that Randy had decided to go ahead and still view the entire season in 1998 through Derek's prism and told the full story of the 98 team. So I think that was important. Again, did a great job with that. And, the whole way through. And like the 98 team was, was something that wasn't supposed to, people didn't say, oh, right on paper, it was just going to happen. And that was it. Like they were doubted at first, and they just steamrolled through the playoffs, and they had that one huge speed bump against Cleveland, which they had to overcome, and El Duque was a huge part of that. And it was cool to see El Duque again too, because I haven't even thought of him in a little while.
It was. I think I've mentioned this before on here. He holds a special place in my heart, because my parents and I met him at the fantasy camp, and he went out of his way to talk to my dad, both in the first year that he met him, and then 2 years later when my parents came back. He asked me, "Where are your parents? I want to go say hi to your dad." And they just had a conversation in Spanish, and like we're having a great time laughing it up with each other. So my mom and I, like, we really love El Duque, and he was my coach one year. Homer Bush couldn't come, and he was my coach. And that was the year that we played the Legends on the field, on Steinbrenner Field. and he pitched against us, and he wasn't playing. He did not want to take the ball. So that was pretty fun. But anyway, back to the captain. One of the parts that I really liked was, I can't remember what the guy's name was, but he ended up being his barber, and the guy was friends with Diddy.
Yeah. Damn, his name is escaping me at the moment too. But yeah, it was kind of like he was like the link between Derek's baseball world and like the hip hop world and like his whole like club scene and going out scene.
Yeah. So the one thing that stuck out about what he said, and what that guy said in particular, is that Derek would take little bites of the Big Apple and let them digest. And he was a very humble guy. And he said a lot of people take a big, huge bite and then they choke and they get in a lot of trouble. And he said, yeah. And he was like, Derek kept his circle very, very tight, and he never let, like the wolf into the hen house. He kind of always knew. And I think part of that was when Derek acknowledged that Darryl Strawberry sat him down and was like, don't do what I did. Like, I'm paying for it now. Here's all the things you need to avoid. Here's all the people that you need to stay away from. And, just come to me if you ever get in trouble. I've got your back. So I thought that was really cool. And one thing that Derek said that, like, you almost feel, and he said, I hate feeling this way. When he meets somebody new, the first thing he thinks is, what do they want?
Yeah. It's that. I mean, I think it's a smart way to go about things in terms of what we're talking about. But it's got to suck in some ways on one hand or the other way, because you're just not. It takes a lot apparently for him to trust you. To go on.
And it should. When you're Derek Jeter, it should.
It made me think about when I had met him in Baltimore. That when we took the picture, I was like, did he think that? Like, what do they want? Is it more than just a picture and that's it? Like, but
you said he was very gracious there. That was when you
met him. He was, right? The 2 times I got to meet Derek Jeter was super nice. One of them was in '96, before a game in April. That was a rain delayed game. And the other one was in the mid 2000s in Baltimore, when I ran into him and Jorge Posada outside of a Best Buy, and that's a picture I have up on Facebook and stuff. But yeah, he was super nice the whole time, and he actually, as I said, he had one of those cameras that have the screen on it, and he actually kind of like took a peek over to see how it came out, like he actually gave a shit, and was like, all right, it's good, take it easy, like that was it. So. I don't know. I like to think that he at least was cool with the fact that we waited and didn't just jump into his shopping and stuff like that and try to, because he was just hanging out with Jorge and stuff. We kind of waited for a small window to open up to, to at least ask him quickly. So I like to think that was appreciated. But yeah, the Darryl Strawberry stuff, though, I actually found extremely interesting, because I didn't even really think about it at the time going into the episode of like, yeah, wow, he had Straw on his team, who went through the whole rookie in New York and came up as a phenom and stuff like that with the Mets in the 80s, and got into drugs and drinking and stuff like that, and kind of was there to help guide Derek, just in case that was like a possible temptation, because you can consider where he was hanging out and stuff. It was probably could have happened easily, where he could have strayed that way, but thankfully didn't. And it's nice to think that. And Doc Gooden was on that team too.
Yep.
He also played with Doc Gooden, so he had both of them there, to kind of help out with that. So that's huge.
And he also he acknowledges this too in the episode. He also came of age like right before everybody started walking around with cell phones and filming everything, right? So there was a freedom to how he navigated becoming one of the hugest stars in one of the biggest cities in the world, on the most famous team. I'm not arguing that it is the most famous team. And, being, like a sex symbol, like somebody that everybody wanted to meet. I think that helped. And I also think, and they talk about this too, his family values, that he mentioned that he would speak to his parents every day. And his dad told him, if your head ever gets too big to fit through this door, you're not going to be welcome through the door again. I love that.
Yeah, that's a great quote. And another thing, I guess, to think too is that he was apparently supposed to go hang out with Diddy and J-Lo that night that whole thing, that shit went down. and just decided, nah, I got a day game to go to. I'm gonna take it easy tonight. And yeah, he would have been in some serious shit right there.
Yep.
Not that he'd done anything, but even his name being thrown into it, you're like guilty by association. So
yeah,
that's another huge bullet he dodged right there. No pun intended.
Ew.
Yes, I wasn't even thinking about it. I swear to God. But
I do have to say, my two favorite quotes of the episode were the one about Jeffrey Mayer catching the ball.
Oh yeah, should have.
Where he was like, it's very obvious. Tony should have jumped.
That was right.
And the
way
he
had like a smirk on his face too about it.
Yeah. And then the other one, of course, was about A-Rod, and I loved it. He said, "You can compare stats: who hit more home runs and RBIs, who stole more bases." And he said, "I cared about who won, and we did that more. That was it."
Yeah,
and he's so right. That was it. It doesn't matter if Alex hit more home runs. And by the way, Alex, at the end of the day, did you really hit more home runs on your own?
Well, that's the whole thing. A-Rod's entire career was in question now because of that. We don't know when it started or when it stopped or anything like that. So that's why it's almost like, yes, of course, A-Rod had put up a lot, and a lot of his numbers were better. Not overall hits, but there were a lot of numbers there. But when the guy's on PEDs multiple times, then those are all into question because you don't really know how many he naturally would have hit. So to me, it's just like you're kind of disqualified. I'm sorry, man.
And I have to make a comment about one particular picture they showed. They showed a picture of the two of them and a couple other guys shirtless posing.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
So I don't think I remember that, but I was thinking about, of course, I'm going to bring my guy into this conversation. When Giancarlo Stanton did the body issue of Sports or whatever it was.
Oh, it was ESPN, the body issue.
ESPN, thank you. The way he looked in there, and I'm not talking about that he was fully naked, just the way his body looked there compared to the way they looked like little boys.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I know back then I had a crush on Derek Jeter. I looked at that picture and I was like, huh, really? That's what I was crushing on back in the day?
I'm pretty sure in my collection of like yearbooks and old SI and stuff like that, I have the one with the cover of him and A-Rod together.
With him, with his arm around him?
When they're kind of just like hanging out and stuff. I'm pretty sure I have that. I don't think that's in that issue or not. I actually don't even remember. But I'm pretty sure when I went through, because I was moving boxes around like in the last year or so, during COVID, you started doing anything in the house to like try to find time. I'm pretty sure I'd moved that box. It's a immensely heavy box that I have. And that issue was definitely in there. And I was like, holy shit, I still have this thing, like in perfect condition. I'm curious if that was in there though. Paul would probably remember in 2 seconds if that was in there. It's a bizarre picture, and then Jerry actually happens to really enjoy the Giancarlo Stanton body issue. I don't understand. I don't know. He doesn't stop trying to.
I know why I really enjoy it, but
it's apparently it's his go-to whenever we're talking smack about baseball and stuff. Since he has this vendetta against Giancarlo Stanton, he always seems to randomly have those.
Jerry, you have a lot of vendettas, my friend. A lot of vendettas.
He sticks up for A-Rod, is anti-Stanton. But his go-to is oddly those body picture issues. I'm like, do you have them on your phone ready to go at like a moment's notice? Because I'm not also sure what it's supposed to bring to the argument. I don't know.
I don't know.
Very weird thing.
I don't know, because that just only adds to his greatness, in my opinion.
Like, dude, what are you gonna do? Dude's jacked. I mean, what are you gonna say? Yeah, but another really good episode. I'm curious to see, where I mean, story-wise, we know where it goes, but like some of the insights of where it picks up in 99 and 2000, because we're going to be getting to the Subway Series in 2000, which ironically is where, and that'll be played the next 2 nights. And the 99 World Series was another one that was, and also 99 was one of Derek's best seasons.
Yep.
So I'm curious to see, that goes, and we will be approaching the A-Rod contract signing, Esquire fiasco. It's right around the corner. So
I do have to say though, they left this with a nice little cliffhanger, if you will, when they start talking about his arbitration, and he
Mm-hmm.
says, "I love this. I love that it was right at the end too." When he was like, "I have a list in my head of all the people who ever doubted me. I know exactly what you said, when you said it, how you said it, and what you were wearing when you did." And he was straight up talking about Brian Cashman. And then he said, "I'm very loyal. Loyalty one way is stupidity." And when they were showing the promo clips, I think everybody thought he was talking about A-Rod, and he absolutely was not when he said that in this.
Oh, and that's what trailers do. I mean, they always
Yeah.
cut
Yeah.
audio and video out of context just to make you direct you one way, and then it's like, nah, not really. I mean, I guess it applies to both situations, but no, Cashman's played hardball with him. Cashman's played hardball with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I suppose that's his job. So
no, I agree with you. He tried playing hardball with Bernie, tried it with Derek on multiple occasions. Did it with Jorge. It's a tough job that he has to do that, because the toughest thing I think in sports is when you have a Hall of Famer who's at the end of their career,
mhm.
and then you're trying to, like, am I paying you for things that have happened already? Am I paying for you for what you're going to do? And that's always a tough thing. And like a star beginning to like fade a little bit is it's tough for the fans, it's tough for the organization, tough on the player. It rarely ever ends well. But in Derek's
Yeah.
case, it kind of did. I mean, he had the perfect ending in his last home game, even though he did take the bats in Fenway, but still, like, everyone pretty much remembers his last home game being like his last real game.
Absolutely. That was like a dream ending. You can't write anything better than that.
Yeah, well, K's call was Derek Jeter, where fantasy becomes reality. Like,
Hmm.
it's spot on, man, spot on. Um, all right, I guess let's go ahead and jump to the week in the Yankees baseball.
Do we
So
have to?
so
Can we
so
skip the
so
first
week.
two?
Yeah, so week, but uh, yeah, the odd schedule makers got that doubleheader kicked off against the Astros right out of the gates, out of the All Star break. But no excuses. Game one was the afternoon game. Astros walked off the Yanks by a final 3-2. Jordan Montgomery took a no decision, but six in the third, scattered 7 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 8 Ks. Michael King took the loss, pushing his record to 6-3 on the season. More on him in a minute. But he pitched 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, an earned run, 1 walk, 2 Ks. DJ LeMahieu was 1 for 3 with his ninth homer of the year, drawing 2 walks. Aaron Hicks was 2 for 3 with a walk and a run scored, and IKF was 1 for 1 with a pinch hit RBI single in the top of the ninth inning to tie the game up.
Yeah.
This was a really aggravating game, honestly. The fact that Monty again pitched his butt off, got no run support again. Michael King, they found a way to squeak their way a run past him, but now that we know what happened with King, you start to wonder if something was already there to begin with, because he was a little bit un Michael King like in this game. Um, but then the winning run though in the bottom of the ninth inning was IKF made a great stop in the hole, and I mean he was shifted, so he had to come from far. And based on the shift that they were playing against the lefty, Glaber had no chance to cover second. So all he had to do was he just threw it to second base and was hoping to God that somebody was there.
Hmm.
And Glaber couldn't get there in time. Um, I know there was some debate on the radio and stuff about, oh, is Glaber not hustling the second? He should have at least tried. I'm like, dude, there's no way he was making it. I'm sorry. Didn't
Right.
matter if he broke there or not. Like that's a moot point. Like, to me, it's almost like fake hustle. You're hustling for the fact of just to show that you hustled. But meanwhile, there was literally zero chance that you were making that play. So I think that one was a tough break. But Yanks going ahead, and it's just not really hitting against the Astros outside of the 2 walk-offs in the stadium earlier in the season. So, you probably is a good chance you're going to see them in October. So
Hmm.
you got to address that, and that's the next time you're going to see them, because after today, that was pretty much it for them. And the second half of the doubleheader, Yanks dropped that one 7-5. Domingo Germán made his 2002 season debut coming off the IL. to get the start. Not looking great, though. Took the loss. 3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, a walk, 2 Ks. J.P. Sears came in after him, wasn't that much better. But Aaron Judge was 1 for 4 with his 34th home run of the season, a 3-run absolute moonshot.
Yes, it was.
In the 9th inning, yeah, to try to get them to come back. But the Yanks did have the tying run at the plate in Matt Carpenter again. So you don't want to sugarcoat losing, but if you're going to lose, you want to have a chance to win in the 9th, and that's pretty much what they did have it again. But Judge had 3 RBIs on a 3-run homer, 2 runs scored, a walk. Gleyber Torres was 2 for 5 with his 15th homer of the year, 2 RBIs. Josh Donaldson was 2 for 4 on the day. And that was they had chances to score. They had runners on all day long again, and just could not punch it through. They are having a tough time with the Astros starting pitching. It is definitely a problem. So
yeah, I saw a stat, and it's to the point that you were saying. The Astros have won 5 out of 7 of their games with the Yankees, and the Astros have had a lead in all of those games, and they only lost the 2 that were walk-offs. So it's like the Yankees have never been on top until the very end of the game, and they were the home team during that game. So a lot of things are going to become crucial come October. If they can't figure out how to beat the Astros, how to hit off of them, how to not have them hit off of us, and we do not have home field advantage in October for some reason, then that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and that's essentially what the Yankees regular season, honestly, at the moment is about. It's about trying to make sure you finish as the 1 seed and don't let the Astros catch you, because you want that 7th game to be in Yankee Stadium. So, because you're assuming that the Astros are going to get through, you're going to get through the ALDS, and that's how it's going to happen. So you want to make sure you have every advantage, and plus, also wouldn't hurt to make sure you're the 1 seed overall and finish ahead of the Dodgers and everyone in the NL. So if you do get to the World Series, you do have that 7th game in Yankee Stadium as well. So that's pretty much what you're playing for, but it does mean something. It does have a level of importance. I know they're not going to bend over backwards at times or kill themselves to get there, but you've got a lot of games to go. So still got things to play for. I know there was also some criticism of Aaron Boone's lineups in these games. I think that's a little bit of a reach. I mean, it's a doubleheader. Everyone's going to play. It's just the way it is. Stanton's gotten some games off since the post All-Star break, saying he's kind of banged up and stuff like that, but not injured. Hopefully, he can start getting back on the field consistently starting tomorrow night against the Mets. So,
or at the very least Wednesday.
Yeah, listen, he needs to, whatever. At least get back in there.
I'm saying that obviously because I'm going to the game.
Yeah, exactly. No, he needs to be in the lineup for both games. I mean, but again, they are. Listen, the games are more. These games are meaningful mainly for the fans, but yes, they are. Part of the 162, and that's it. I do think some will make more of it than it is, but you still want to win the games. That's it. You want to win every game you play. So
yes.
But then the Yanks went ahead and headed to Baltimore to kick off a 3-game series, and they held on. A game that was really shouldn't have been as close. I mean, they were up pretty comfortably for quite some time until Aroldis Chapman came in and decided to make a mess and get this way more interesting than it needed to be. And that brought in Michael King. And we'll get to Michael King in a second, because that was pretty much the story of this game. But Jameson Taillon took a no decision. 2 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 2 Ks. Taillon needs to start giving them some length, man. Like, enough of this 4-inning, 5-inning crap. Like, you got to start stepping up, dude. Lucas Licky picked up the win, his 3rd of the season, pushing his record to 3-3. 2 1/3 innings pitched, a hit, 3 Ks. So he came up big. Licky's actually been really pitching pretty well over the last month or so. He's really straightened himself out, and they're going to need it. With what happened. Clay Holmes, though, picked up his 17th win of the season, going an inning and 2/3, and then a hit, 3 Ks. Aaron Judge, 2 for 4 with 2 homers on the night, pushing it to 36 home runs on the season, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Joey Gallo, 1 for 3 with his 12th home run of the season, 2 runs scored and a walk. And that walk was a huge walk, because it did lead to Judge's 2nd home run of the in that inning. So he did keep that going. So not reaching for Joey Gallo stuff because we are no way, shape, or form Joey Gallo apologists, but it was a big walk there. Josh Donaldson was 2 for 4, 2 runs scored in a double. Jose Trevino 1 for 4 with an RBI double. IKF 1 for 4 with an RBI. But the big thing in this was the 8th inning when Michael King had to come in. He ends up leaving the game with a fractured elbow, and he's done for the season.
Yeah.
So a guy who could have been on the All-Star team pretty easily, Yanks lose their key setup man now, and now you gotta get that bridge to Clay Holmes, and Aroldis Chapman really does not appear to be that at the moment at all. Jonathan Weiziger hasn't looked the same since coming off the IL either. So Yanks bullpen, huge strength of theirs over the last couple of seasons, kind of in disarray right now. So some guys got to step up. Weiziger's got to find it. Chapman can find it. Anyone. Starting to think trade deadline, you might want to take a look at some, and maybe a reliever or two, high leverage guys to try to go ahead and fill that void. There is a guy in the Cubs who's closing for them that Yankee fans are pretty familiar with, and David Robertson, who has bounced back out of nowhere and having an excellent season. The Cubs are going to be looking to move him at the trade deadline, so might be a guy for Cashman to go ahead and look at. But yeah, losing Michael King sucks. That really, really stings, man.
Yes,
The kid was having such a good season, such an incredible season.
Yeah. I do have two things. You were talking about Lucas Luque. Did you see the adorable video that I posted on our page about his son? Yes. How freaking cute was that?
That was awesome.
So if anybody didn't see it, either on the news or on our Facebook page, it was a video of his baby son looking at the TV while he was in spring training and going, "Daddy, Daddy, that's Daddy!" And his wife was filming it, and she sent it to him. And one of the Yankees, I don't know, somebody that was interviewing him asked him, "What did you think about that?" And he was like, "That's why I do this. Like I want my kids, to see Daddy, playing baseball and doing what he loves, and kind of showing them like you could do anything you want too." Which I think is amazing. And it was just so precious. Oh my goodness. And then the other thing, Ed, I got a little trivia for you. You ready?
Shoot.
Aaron Judge is the 5th Yankee to have 8 multi-home run games in a season. Who are the other 4?
Wow, the other 4. Wow, Angie's trying to call here, and we got the speaker on, so we're going to shut that off quick. I do apologize for that. All right, so we'll go with Ruth. We're going to go with the usuals. Lou Gehrig?
Nope.
Mickey Mantle?
Yep.
Joe DiMaggio?
Jump ahead in time.
All right, let's jump ahead to Don Mattingly?
Nope. Keep
Dave
going.
Winfield. Further in the future. Okay, Mark Teixeira.
Oh, I wish. No.
Bernie Williams?
No.
Jason Giambi?
No, somebody I like less than Bernie Williams.
Someone you like, A-Rod?
Yeah. And then you might not get the 4th one. Very recent.
Very recent.
I was actually surprised with all the names on this list. This name was like, oh, okay.
Brian McCann.
Nope.
I'll just try to go really kind of obscure right there. Power hitters that we've had recently.
It's not. Yeah. I'll just tell you who it is. Gleyber Torres.
Oh, all right. Nice.
So
I'm trying to think current, but
yeah, Babe Ruth did it in 27, Mickey Mantle in 61, A-Rod in 07, and Gleyber Torres in 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And now Judge in 22.
Yeah. We're gonna get to a quick comment here because I'm a little puzzled by it. We have our one of our resident Met fans who watches our show, so it's good to see you're watching the Yankee show. Thanks for that. Frank Turizzo's Michael Pineda, James Paxton, Jay Happ. How did that go? Not sure why he's naming 3 Yankees random starters that they have signed or traded for through the offseason. So maybe he was just thinking about them? Because that doesn't really apply. Maybe it's the answer to a trivia question? I don't know. All right. Nice job, Frank. We'll keep that going here. I don't know. Just can't stop thinking about the Yankees, man. I mean, it's cool to see that. All right, so we'll go ahead and get to Saturday night, where the Yankees go ahead and they dropped a tough one to the Orioles by a final 6-3. Garrett Cole picked up his third loss of the season, pushing his record to 9-3. 6 innings, 9 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. Aaron Judge, though, 4 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a double. Just kind of shocked there's not a home run mixed into a 4-hit night for Aaron Judge these days. But who but Matt Carpenter was 1 for 3 with his 14th home run of the season. Just continues to crush it and a walk. DJ LeMahieu was 2 for 5 with a run scored. Higgy was 2 for 3. Yanks offense, though, pounded out 11 hits. 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position. They had 1,000 opportunities to blow this game wide open. They didn't. And the Orioles made them pay.
They should have.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate Cole was actually cruising through 6, tried to give them 7, and hung 2 sliders in that inning. And that really made him pay for it. The go-ahead run at the time was on first base when Albert Abreu came in, and he ends up throwing the ball past DJ LeMahieu at first and allows Jorge Mateo, former Yankee farmhand, to get all the way to third base and eventually score on a tag up where not even Aaron Judge could throw him out. I mean, the guy's one of the fastest players in the league. And that's what happens. I know Cole gave some post-game interview that was just, I mean, I appreciate the honesty, but sometimes it's too much honesty. I know there was videos of him taking down fruit during the game, which is, by the way, something that maybe we should have been doing earlier today on Saturday, just crushing bananas and oranges constantly. But yeah, in Baltimore, if you've never been to Baltimore, you think it's humid here. Down there, it's completely insane. It's like their humidity just never ends. It's like playing in soup down there. It's just, it's nuts. So I get what he's saying, but no one wants to hear that when you fizzled out in the last inning. You're the ace. Just, that's where it's just like, dude, just don't talk. Stop.
Wasn't there a point where he told Aaron Boone, "I'm not leaving the game" or something like that? Was it this game?
No, it wasn't this game. But the thing is, like I said, I appreciate him trying to push it because the bullpen was short. I get that because of the last 3 days, but just don't talk about the heat. No one wants to hear about exhaustion. No one wants to hear about that. We get it. The other players are playing on the same field as well. The other pitchers are pitching on the same mound as well. And you're the ace. You're the $300 million man. So just nobody wants to hear about that. Again, honesty, but just sometimes you just want to zip it.
So like I always try to do whenever I find a stat about one of the other teams, I do like to say that too, because we are even though we're Yankee fans, we do want to represent baseball. I do want to say Ramon Urias has had 4 home runs and 16 RBIs in 14 games since coming off of the injured list. So and he had a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning. So he's been pretty hot since coming off the injured list, and can't ask for better than that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as good as the Yankees are, the Orioles aren't the pushover that they were, like one of the bottom of the barrels in all of baseball anymore. I mean, this team's actually playing pretty well, so they're going to give the Yanks everything they got every time out. Again, not making excuses, but the Yanks should have swept them this weekend. This game was the one where they just handed and gave it away. Almost tried to give away Friday night's game, but that I kind of put on Aroldis Chapman, squaring his shoulders because that dude just came in and he's been a disaster. So, but Yanks did take the series from the Orioles yesterday afternoon with a pretty, convincing win by a final of 6-0. Nasty Nestor Cortez continued his bounce back now, getting his 8th win of the season. His record's now 8-3. 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, no walks, 7 Ks. Incredible stat line there. Clark Schmidt picked up his first save of the season. Old school save. Going the final 3 innings there. Yeah. With 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 3 Ks. Aaron Judge, though, 2 for 4 with his 37th home run of the season. 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and a walk. Gleyber Torres was 2 for 4 with a walk. Aaron Hicks was 2 for 4 with an RBI.
Get to my guy.
Trevino, 4 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Have a day, Jose Trevino.
That was his first career 4-hit game.
And he was spraying the ball all over line to line. I mean, it's
Freaking
just
love
incredible.
that guy.
And in the summer, Baltimore suit with long sleeves. What the hell was that about? That's also makes his 4-hit day that much more incredible, especially with the catches, gear on, and everything else. So, no, but the Yanks with an emphatic win yesterday afternoon. And Clark Schmidt is a guy who you might look at in the bullpen now, or even in rotation, because with Luis Severino's out, even though Herman's getting the first crack, Clark Schmidt is a guy who here is a way for you to stay with the Yankees and not keep on getting sent down back to the Rail Riders. So, make the most of your opportunities here. They need the innings. Bullpen short, rotation's a little short right now. Trade rumors swirling around about Luis Castillo. So, this is the time to jump on it. But I wanted to go ahead and go over a season comparison that I posted earlier on our Facebook page. Season comparison, home run totals through first 97 games of the season in Yankees history. Roger Maris had 40 in 1961 when he went on to hit 61. Aaron Judge had 37 right now this season, and Babe Ruth had 33 in 1927 when he ended up hitting 60, which Maris broke in 1961. And Aaron Judge is now on pace for 62 home runs. So he's on another hot tear. He did cool off a little bit before the All-Star break, but apparently he's right. Maybe that's what he needed. He needed to have a little time off and recharge, because dude is back, really crushing the baseball again, man. And they're no cheapies. They're moonshots that he's hitting.
Yeah, they are.
So there was something that also was announced earlier today, I think, Lisa, that we wanted to bring up regarding Susan Waldman getting into the Radio Hall of Fame along with Chris Russo.
Yes. Congratulations to Susan. Yeah, I wanted to quickly read the statement that the Yankees put out for her. First of all, before I even read it, I just want to say kudos to her. They reference it in here, but this woman has been doing this for over 36 years. And I cannot imagine all of the, excuse my language, the shit that she had to go through as a woman 36 years ago in the clubhouses. I'm sure she was sexually harassed. I'm sure people were making really bad comments around her, doing really stupid things around her. And for her to be, as like we joke about her and John Sterling, but I respect the hell out of her. I think I've always found her to be like super knowledgeable about the sport, and any woman that can hang and talk about it the way she does, I just love that. I think she's kick-ass. I admire her. So let me read this really quickly. This is from the Yankees. The New York Yankees offer their heartfelt congratulations to Susan Waldman on being elected to the Museum of Broadcast Communications Radio Hall of Fame, both as a reporter covering the team and as a broadcaster in the booth. Susan has informed and entertained Yankee fans with precision and care for 36 years. This accomplishment is the deserved result of decades of hard work and dedication to her craft, and we would be remiss to not laud her professionalism and resolve while staring down countless obstacles as a pioneering woman in her field. The Yankees are thrilled to see her recognized in this fashion as she takes her place alongside other luminaries in the broadcast radio world. Congratulations, Susan Waldman. That is so dope.
That's awesome. Congrats. They used to call her Georgia Girl. That was kind of a nickname that they had there. She also first voice ever on WFAN. So she's done a lot of milestones here. So, congrats to Susan Waldman.
And world famous 4th of July vest. Let's not forget that.
Can't never forget that. Hard to miss it, too, if you happen to walk past it. But all right, let's get to our awards of the week, as we do. The top of the heap hitter of the week. So, Lisa, I can't imagine who it is, but who can you start off with as the top of the heap for the week?
I mean, first of all, no contest. Second of all, I am waiting for a phone call from the Yankees, because even though they announced it before us, I had it written down already. So I just want to say, Yankees, holler at us whenever you want, because we've been naming a lot of these and being spot on with you. It's Aaron Judge. Come on. There's nobody else. I mean, the guy, you posted his totals today when you named that when you put on our page that he was player of the week. So 474 average for the week. His OPS is 1.776, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, 6 runs, 9 hits, 3 walks, on base percentage of 565, and a slugging percentage of 1.211. I mean, just throw the C on his shirt already. God.
Well, the imaginary C, because I don't want the Yankees to ever actually.
Oh, no. Yes, no. There's already enough on the shirts as it is. And
we're good. Yeah, we're good. When Derek and Donnie were captains and Willie Randolph, no. So, all good. All right, so we also have our King of the Hill pitcher of the week, which could be a little bit more up for grabs. I will start that one off. And with not that many options to go with, I'm going to go with Nestor Cortez. I mean,
that was my guy.
All right, so 2 weeks in a row, we have agreed on this. So we'll see, a little more spreading out of the, of the wealth along the stat line. But no, I mean, I went over the stat line yesterday. His outing yesterday was excellent. Mm-hmm. Great to see him after he had a little bit of a swoon. And actually, Susan Waldman's the one who did mention that she had it was a pretty cool thing where she had mentioned to Nestor Cortez after his previous start was, hey, welcome back. He's like, I never went anywhere. And, meaning she was just being complimentary. And, like, he was laughing and smiling when he had said it. But it's kind of, listen, ups and downs. It's a 162-game season. It's going to happen. So it's good to see, he's kind of, like, proving some of the doubters wrong because there is question marks around Nestor. Like, is he really this good or not? So I think you just got to keep on proving it every time out. So, Nestor Cortez is definitely, he's both of our King of the Hill of the week.
I want to add one more thing this is not why I picked him, but I added it to it. He also got engaged during All-Star weekend.
Yeah, congrats.
And my uncle told me that my guy, Giancarlo Stanton, is the one who told him where to go to propose to his fiance in LA.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this guy.
So look at Giancarlo being all romantic.
Look at this guy. Okay.
But yeah, Nestor had a fantastic week overall in personal life and on the field. So good for him.
Yeah. I think there was also something else before we get to the preview. To our final segment too was there's been a lot of the trade rumors mentioned with Luis Castillo's flying all over the place. This time of year before the trade deadline, which is right around the corner. You're going to read there. All the news is going to be all over the place.
Yes.
So you got a starting pitcher to Luis Castillo, who's under control past this season. Guy's making $7 million this season, which I know obviously in the real world is a lot of money. But we're talking in baseball, fantasy, monopoly money. So that's that. He's a guy that circled around. Yanks obviously need some bullpen help right now with the injuries to Michael King and to Chad Green and the whatever the hell's going on with Aroldis Chapman and Jonathan Weisiger. And then there's Juan Soto and Andrew Benintendi, who the Yankees have been rumored to be around. So at least I want to ask you quick. If you had to look at what area maybe the Yankees, what do you feel is their biggest need? Would you say starting pitching, adding another starting pitcher, addressing the gaping hole in the outfield called Joey Gallo? Because that's pretty much who we're talking about right now, that the guy's playing constantly, and I can't imagine he's here past the trade deadline. I think they're going to move him for anything. He's a guy maybe you actually can get a reliever for. That would be a smart move. So starting pitching, bullpen, or we'll just say Juan Soto. What would you put in order, say, is the priority for the Yankees to win the World Series this year? Like, to give them their best shot. I mean, Juan Soto is obviously the best player.
Yeah.
That we're talking about here. So that's a given.
If I had to put it in order, I'm probably always going to pick bullpen first because you want to have, you want people that can step it up, especially if a pitcher can only go 2.5 innings. Like, so you do need those bullpen relievers. So I'm gonna have to go with that first. I don't think you could ever have enough of that. And we've seen that happen where we thought our bullpen was deep, right? We thought our bullpen was deep in the beginning of the year. It was the best bullpen, and then we lost quite a few guys. Some of them came back. They haven't been the same, like Jonathan Loaizaga. And who the hell knows? I don't think Chapman's snapping out of it. So we need that. So. We really do need that help, especially now with what happened with Michael King.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would pick Juan Soto. So it's not just Joey Gallo. It's also Aaron. I got a cramp in my leg Hicks the other day, running down to first base. When I saw that, I was like, here we go again. He's going on the IL.
If he went on a 10-day IL with cramps, I would lose my mind. Now I've heard it all. Now I would quote Lou Brown from Major League 2 when he's like, oh, this one, what was it? This one's got a hangnail. This one's got this. And this one, he's got a heart attack. And he's like, who's heart attack? He's like, me. And just kind of like, I mean, are you just that would be wild, but I don't know. With his injury history, you never know, man. Never know.
So because you never know that, and they're clearly being very intentional about resting Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton as much as they can without seriously hurting the team. They need more people in the outfield as well. And just like you said, you're not going to get better than Juan Soto. So
no. I think because I just wanted to this spurred into my mind because again it was on this group text I went with Jerry and Tommy and Steve and stuff. So I had to just get this out there. So Juan Soto obviously is the best player there available, right? Out of the three, there's no question. It's not even close. Guy's 22 years old. He's still under control for 2.5 more years. Phenomenal player, be excellent in the Yankees lineup. You will have to pay him at some point, but to me, if you're going to make that move, you take care of Judge this offseason. You figure out Juan Soto when the time comes. Mm-hmm. Maybe you move around some money if you have to going forward or whatever. I don't know. More maybe he comes here, shits the bed, and then you're like, well, time to go. Mm-hmm. You just get to see it. You get a little bit of a preview. But to get him, you would have to clean out the farm system essentially. That would probably cost you Jason Dominguez, Anthony Volpe, probably both of them, and more to go. Mm-hmm. So that's your incentive since you're cleaning out your farm system, to go get him. But to me, Luis Castillo, I think, is the top trade target. I think because the thing is, after Cole, yes, you got Nestor Cortez, then you got Jordan Montgomery, then I would say Jameson Taillon, but Luis Severino, we just don't know. The guy he's another one who's always hurt.
Well,
and in the playoffs.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, in the playoffs, which we know who we're talking about. We're talking about the Houston Astros. And there's 1 through 5 is giving the Yankees fits. So you have to have a starting pitching staff to go toe-to-toe with them. But my second, honestly, is going to be bullpen. I'm going to go with you. I think pitching and defense is where you lean to win championships. We know this. We've seen this forever. You can't just outslug teams to get to a World Series. That shit does not work in October. It'll get you to October, but it doesn't win in October. So that's where I think my mindset is. Shit, if it were me, and if I absolutely despise saying this, but if George was still around, he would clean out the entire farm system, go get Castillo, go get Soto, just go get it all. We're too close. You can't let it slip away. Yeah. So a trade for Juan Soto and Castillo would put you in contention for years to come, along with what we have right now. Yankees also got a lot of money coming off the books after the season. Mm-hmm. They actually do. Chapman's being one of them. You cannot pick up Severino's option if you decide to trade for Castillo. Castillo's also going to cost you, probably Peraza and others. I would even throw Miguel Andujar into that trade as well because, number one, the kid deserves to play. Mm-hmm. And we're obviously not doing anything with him, so you shouldn't maybe throw him in with a trade for Castillo. So that's kind of how I would see it. I would clear out the farm system and go all in. And I want them to get Soto badly. I really do. But I think the need for this season to win the World Series, they can win it with a Castillo and bullpen help. And obviously it'd be nice to have Soto, but I think they can win without him. But I do understand Juan Soto is one of the best players in baseball. At 22 years old, he would make them phenomenally better. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. It'll be very interesting.
The one thing, Like, I hear you, I see you, I do.
You see what I'm saying? Like I get this
do.
little.
And then when you said all of the pictures and you said Jordan Montgomery and we keep saying runs for Gumby and they keep not producing it. If Juan Soto was on the team, maybe he would produce runs for Gumby.
No, and that's the thing. I don't disagree with that. Obviously, Juan Soto is a left-handed bat in the Yankee Stadium. He would have a field day.
He's young.
He's young also. I would love to see an outfield of Juan Soto and Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. And, you throw Hicks a bone here and there when you need to give a guy a day off. And then Joey Gallo goes and plays in Central Park maybe for the Outlaws in the fall. I don't care where it is. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever. He just is out of the picture completely. But it's going to cost a lot. And there's also no guarantee that the Nationals have to move Soto by the trade deadline. They also can just be like, yeah, you know something? We're going to wait because we still got him for 2.5 more years. We're not in a rush. They're in no rush to move.
Right.
So I think that's also important to do. So, but I think that it seems like the Reds are finally ready to move on Castillo. And the Yankees and Cashman have been all about him every single season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is finally the time when you make that move. So you could trade for Castillo and get your bullpen help, and maybe Soto stays with the Nationals. I don't know. I'm sure the Nationals' phones are ringing off the hook.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, no, it's very, very interesting. Trust me. I would adore it. Yeah, Juan Soto, 22 pinstripe jersey, gets to resurrect it from the disgusting filth that Jacoby Ellsbury destroyed it with. It would be fantastic. You would see all those people with Ellsbury shirts, but with the tape that says Soto over it. By the way, last week I did see someone with, it must have been a Sanchez jersey, a name and number T-shirt with Carpenter and tape over it.
The other day when you saw me at the game and you said, you're wearing a Matt Carpenter, and I said, no, you know who I was really wearing, right?
It's everyone. It's anyone who's worn it. That's what's so fun, though.
No. There's only one person. I mean, Matt Carpenter's getting there for me, but there's only one person that I rep 24 for other than myself because that's my birthday.
Tino.
You know I love me some Tino Martinez. That's my
boy.
I love his swing. I love his swing.
I have 2 24 jerseys in my collection.
I know.
One of them with the 98 World Series patch on it.
But it'll never be to represent Gary Sanchez.
Oh, no, but it's always fun to think. Like the 25 jersey I have, I bought it when Giambi signed. But it's been Teixeira. It's been Ruben Sierra at one point. It's been Gleyber Torres now. It's funny to see who we can go through the years when there's no name on it the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I know. So, all right. Well, we'll see, though. We'll be talking trade deadline the next 2 episodes because that's when it's about to happen. So we shall see. But before we get to the trade deadline, let's get to our Subway Series preview, which will be the next 2 nights at Citi Field. Lisa and I will both be there on Wednesday night. I will be there with Jerry's cousin Danny, a watcher, listener of the show. We'll be there tomorrow night. So, who was our pitching matchups for the next 2 nights?
So this is going to be real quick. I only have tomorrow night's full matchup. Tomorrow is Taiwan. Yeah, Taiwan. And I just looked. Taiwan Walker, who is a right-hand pitcher, 7-2 record, 2.55 ERA, and 73 strikeouts, versus Jordan Montgomery, runs for Gumby. Let's go, fellas. He's a left-hand pitcher. 3-2 record, 3.24 ERA, and 88 strikeouts. And then on Wednesday, and this may very well be the formidable TBD because they are going to be playing against Domingo Germán. So we may be watching a loss, I don't know. But Domingo Germán, right-hand pitcher, 0-1 record, 15 ERA, and 2 strikeouts on the season. Ugh. Quick fun story, by the way. So my aunt and uncle are visiting. And on Wednesday, I'm going to the game with my uncle, my dad, and my nephew, Gabriel, who everybody, if you watch, knows who Gabriel is. My uncle took my brother, Brian, my sister-in-law, Barbara, and Gabriel to the Mets game last night as well. And my nephew was given a ball from a security guard who got the ball from Pete Alonso after pretty much every Met that was on the field touched the ball. So my dad
Nice.
was like super hyped about that. And he was on TV for a hot second during like right after one of the breaks. They came back and him and they brought his childhood his friend with him. He is a child to the game. So the two of them were on TV for a hot second. And then the Mets won. So they had a great game. But tomorrow, Wednesday when he goes, he's a Yankee fan.
Okay, fair enough. I will give you though, based on ESPN Fantasy League, all right, fantasy baseball, they have Max Scherzer lined up for Wednesday. I don't know why MLB.com doesn't have that. So yeah, Max Scherzer 6-2 on the season with 98 strikeouts, 2.28 ERA, and an 0.89 WHIP. I know this very firsthand because he's on one of my fantasy teams. So that's a night.
Good.
That's a night when I would absolutely love to see my fantasy team get lit up because that's just the way it is. And Marvel just got home from her class.
Oh, Marvel. Show Marvel.
I'm trying to, but she's too hyped up. Marvel, come. Okay, that's enough. She's like, yeah, whatever. I already said hello. So, yeah, Max Scherzer, listen, Domingo Germán needs to start looking like he's looked in the past and just got to go toe-to-toe with it. Hopefully, he rises to the occasion to Max Scherzer because Scherzer's a tough cookie. So, you know,
yeah.
we shall see. But it will be a fun 2-game set, and then I'll be in the Bronx in a couple of weeks. So we will see how that shakes out as I try to get our closing song ready because it's down here. It seems to be a little bit more challenging to have everything lined up. So there it is. Look at that. So thanks for joining us for another episode. We appreciate the support. If you're joining us on the Facebook live stream, you can join the Empire 161 show group on Facebook. We share lineups and highlights and all other kinds of wacky stuff on a daily basis that don't make the show, so come check that out. Also, join the Pop Culture Pros group because that's who we are presented by, Pop Culture Pros. So if you're catching us on YouTube, hit subscribe on Pop Culture Pros. If you're joining us on Twitter, follow us at Empire 161 Show Group. And also follow Pop Culture Pros at Pop Culture Pros. If you're catching us on the audio-only version, hit subscribe on Pop Culture Pros because that's where you found it to begin with. So, lots of cool stuff going on here. If you like comic book movies and TV shows, you check out Granny's Peach Tea with myself and Jason. We'll be back next Wednesday talking about the new season of Harley Quinn. And also talking about DC's Legion of Super Pets. Yes, Jason and I will be in movie theaters watching DC Super Pets, so we can talk about it on the show. So that should be fun. We'll be watching with a bunch of kids probably, and we'll see if we don't pull our own hair out. So if you're into the Mets, which I know a couple of people watching this were, check out the Put It in the Book show with Karachi and Rodriguez and Keith as they cover the New York Mets. If you're into Star Wars, check out Shoot the Sith with Tim. If you're into wrestling, check out A to Z show. Check out the A to Z show with Tim and Eric. If you're into wrestling, check out the Just Too Sweet show. They're on tomorrow night, and I'll be talking about Vince McMahon's retirement as well and what the future is of WWE. If Disney's your jam, you can check out Ashley and Gabby on Skyline Reviews on Thursday nights. And you check out our boy Don Owens on Am I On the Air? As usually he's on Monday Night Tuesday. He might be on right after us, talking about the week in movies and entertainment. So check all of that out. And we will see you next week. Next Sunday night, we'll be back after Lisa and I check out the Yankees-Royals game. And we'll talk to you then. Let's go, Yankees.
Bye, everybody. Stay cool.
Yeah, stay cool. Please stay cool.